Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor, and when I was a kid, I genuinely loved Milli Vanilli. It's true. Girl, you know it's true. Don't forget my number. My favorite song as a kid was Blame It on the Rain. Yeah, yeah. Really, I'm not making it up. And it's so funny because we were just talking about one of the streams. I was like, man, why have they not made a good Milli Vanilli biopic? Because if you're unfamiliar with Milli Vanilli, not only did they have these amazing songs, but there's this fascinating story where these two guys who we thought were Milli Vanilli back in the 90s grooving to as they were winning Grammys were actually lip syncing and faking all of the music. These two guys were not the singers or writers of the group. They were just two random guys who were put in this boy band, and they didn't even sing the songs. And so it was a big controversy back in the day. They pulled their Grammys back. They spiraled down into these clearly embarrassments in the industry. It would be a fascinating story to look back on, like whose fault really was it? And are they as guilty as the people who sort of put them up to it? All that stuff makes for a fascinating film. So I was surprised when I saw a Milli Vanilli biopic is in the works, but it's coming from Brett Ratner. Brett Ratner lines up comeback with Milli Vanilli. Now, Brett Ratner comes with a lot of baggage, and we're going to break down this video. This video is really now about Brett Ratner because obviously a lot of people don't like Brett Ratner just for X-Men 3 and a lot of other movies that Brett Ratner's made. He's a very polarizing director. Some would say he is the Milli Vanilli of directing in that he's never really made a movie except for Rush Hour. Like the Rush Hour franchise is clearly his big, I think, where it worked. But aside from that, it all feels sort of like, nothing really ever hits as big. It feels a little, let's be honest, Brett Ratner's been a little bit of a punchline to a lot of film fans that he's just not a world-class director. But Brett Ratner became a world-class producer. His RatPac Entertainment produced so many movies you probably don't even realize. But him directing this, it's not even about whether he's a bad director. Him directing this is his first comeback since being Me Too'd in 2017. And, well, Time's Up is not going to let it happen. Time's Up, the organization that was set up around Me Too, has now slammed the notion of a Brett Ratner comeback. We have not and will not forget. They said there should be no comeback for Brett Ratner. And I found this topic to be fascinating because, look, I don't know Brett Ratner. I actually did meet Brett Ratner once. We actually tried to sell him a show. There was a show we were selling to him that he was actually interested in. And I got to go to his studio on Warner Brothers with some other execs. And we pitched a TV show that he was actually very interested in. And he was a very nice guy. His whole office was like, it felt like the Rat Pack. Like you were in there in the Snatch era. You walked into Warner Brothers, but it was this fireplace and leather bound things and books and couches and bookcases. Like he made this amazing little spot in the middle of the Warner Brothers lot that looked like a legit, like cool place, cigars, whiskey. Like that was the guy Brett Ratner was. Now, when he was with us, he was a little distracted and a little, but at the same time, clearly paying attention, clearly knew what we were doing and was interested in our project. And he was very nice to me. So I have no personal experience with Brett Ratner except for good ones. And granted, I've dunked on some of his movies and it is what it is. But as a person, my experiences with him were positive. Now, I had heard lots of things about Brett Ratner, lots of stuff that he was, I don't even want to say, I don't get so salacious, but sort of rumors around Hollywood that he was a womanizer, and they sort of treated him as sort of the Hugh Hefner around town of just, he was always around people. Now, does that mean he did things illegal or criminal? That's the big question here. And so, Time's Up is mad because back in the day, back in 2017, he was accused of, I got to be careful of how I show you guys this, but because I don't want to get in trouble, but it looks like 6 cases came forward addressing him of various extreme. 6 women came forward with accusations that were published in the Times that are, some of them are very explicit to explain. Now, none of them filed criminal charges. And the one person, the most extreme instance of it, right here, they settled. They ended their legal battle here in 2007, or I guess they ended it in when was this written? 2018, a year later. They together, the one person who made serious accusations about him did settle a case with him, and apparently no money was exchanged. So they say, you never know in these cases. Sometimes they say that, and then they sign massive deals that can take the money back if you say anything otherwise. Who knows? But it looks like, according to the press release here, when she posted a Facebook page explaining a story, he sued her for libel, and then she deleted it, and he then continued. So He sued her. He dropped the case. And so sort of that was the way to settle it rather than her going to, and she had a good lawyer, it seems, but take all that as you will. But at the end of the day, she stopped the case, and who knows why or what, but he was then, the case was dismissed, but the accusation was still there. She didn't take away the accusation, but he took away the lawsuit for libel. So who knows what was agreed to or said or what happened. But the reality is the one case out there of most serious charge was thrown away. Now, the reason I bring all this up is because I don't know Brett Ratner, and some of the stuff I've read, especially some of the stuff about Olivia Munn, it's gross. Now, he denies it. She's written about it in her book, and she's sort of been very upfront about it. He did something when she came to deliver food to him, very Weinstein very Weinstein-esque, of just sort of out and about with shrimp cocktail apparently, and doing stuff to himself. And she screamed horrified and just left. That's not okay. It's not okay. And if that happened, then gross. And he knows that. I mean, of course, that's gross. And so, look, the reality though is we don't know. So what's really interesting is about this is like what does he need to do to come back? Does he need to say it happened? What if it didn't happen? Does he need to be sued? Well, no one sued him. What's the line here where someone like Brett Ratner, whether you like him or not, what's the line here where he's allowed to come back is really the question that I think we need to figure out. Now, look, as a filmmaker, Brett Ratner, as a person, he was very nice to me. I know other people. Wasn't mean to everybody, but there were some serious accusations that came. So here's the statement from Time's Up. Put it here. Was born out of the national reckoning and workplace. Says Tina. And we're gonna come back to Tina Cheng because it's important. Where was it? Not only did Ratner never acknowledge, a product of countless survivors, of those who spoke out, why they endured the hands of Brett Ratner. No, not only did Ratner never acknowledge or apologize for the harm he caused, but he also filed lawsuits in attempts to silence the voices. Now, it's interesting because the one he did, she stopped. So one could say he was richer. I'm sure he was, but I'm sure someone important took her case too. But he filed that to silence them. Anyone who came forward, tactic right out of the Predator's playbook. I mean, come on, let's be careful now. You don't get to go away for a couple years and then resurface and act like nothing happened. We have not and will not forget, and Millennium Media should not either. There should be no comeback. We won't forget, Brett. So, look, this is interesting. And so, I don't know. What's interesting to me is Tina Cheng, who's now the heads of Time's Up. She was instrumental, apparently. She had a part in helping Jussie Smollett get out. So it's like the irony there is interesting. She refused subpoenas to talk about her role in the Jussie Smollett case. Not only then she refused them, but sorry, I didn't pay for the Chicago Sun-Times when they had these articles. But she's just fought to quash them and never come forward and reveal her involvement in. She's an former First Lady Michelle Obama aide, or chief. She was a former chief of staff to former First Lady Obama, but she was instrumental in helping Jussie Smollett get away from things. So the irony here of her letting Jussie come out, but then calling out Brett for, I guess, getting out of his, just doesn't sit well with me. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, I don't know what happened in those rooms. And I do know, like, Brett Ratner apparently put out a whole fake poster about shrimp. And, like, clearly something happened there. And he was on Attack of the Show talking about how he banged her and all this stuff. He's that type of guy where it's like, I don't necessarily like him. But should he have a right to make a movie? And then should the audience have a right to whether they decide whether they want to go buy a ticket or not? Until there's real charges against him or criminal or something else out there, yes, why not? There's nothing else out there against him. Whether he was able to use the justice system to his favor due to his wealth, that would suck. But he did, and that's how the system works. What are we supposed to do otherwise? Just because some people came forward and he's denying it and they're not leveling any proof that he therefore can never make a movie again? That seems a little extreme to me. Now, there's a lot of people in town who I'm sure would say, I'm never watching or supporting Brett Ratner. And that's their right. And there's a lot of women maybe who's like, I've heard stories. I'm not going to support anything he does. That's their right. That's where we're at as a society. Now, is it Time's Up's right to sort of go out there and try to tell Millennium Media, no, don't make the movie? That's where it gets more complicated. They're allowed to do it. However, it is totally attempting to continuously cancel him if he steps back out to work. And if he really did wrong, it sucks because, yeah, he should be taking accountability. I believe that. And he hasn't. He's denied everything. But even him on Attack of the Show, when I did some homework looking up, like, he admitted he said some terrible things. Then he went on Howard Stern to apologize. Like, the dude has been caught saying bad things. Like, and the dude has been caught up, being clearly a jerk. But should that cancel someone and stop them from working? Hell no. No one should be canceled forever unless you do actual serious, real bad acts. And it looks like there were some cases out there. He tried to sue them. They settled with him. They didn't follow suit. Maybe they didn't have any proof. There could be a lot of reasons why it all went down, or why it was scary. And some of these women maybe just said, you know what, I'm not going to do it. At the same time, though, these could have been recollections. Who knows? That's the problem we have. As someone who's been there, I had someone who was absolutely lying about what happened, and I was able to prove that she was a liar through my texts. And thank God I had those texts, because without those texts, still people don't believe me, even though I've proven that her tweets about me lied. She said things that didn't happen in her tweets. She's totally, it just didn't work. Everything she said fell apart because she thought I deleted the text because, I didn't want to keep them, but I did. So the reality is, like, there's women absolutely do change it to the story or recollect things differently, or maybe there was, as Brett Ratner has said, he had a relationship apparently with Olivia Munn, which upset her that he told her. Same with Natasha Henstridge. He says, well, no, they were together at a certain point. And, look, I don't know what happened, but in Hollywood, there's a lot of casting couches and things that happen that aren't right. But women make the decision, you know what, fine, I'll do this. Could that have been happened and someone had sour grapes? Could he have actually done it? What's frustrating is here, we just don't know. We have accusations and we have someone saying it's denying it. And then we have no criminal charges that have been out there. And now years later, he's trying to make a separate movie, move on with his life, and Time's Up isn't letting him. So what do you think on this topic? Personally, I think he has a right to make a movie. And I think the audience has the right not to support it. That's where it comes down to at the end of the day. Now, will Millennium decide that this is worth it? Can they fund it? Is he can he be get insurance on this film, or will there be so much backlash, potential controversy that the studio can lose money because he's involved? Could there be other accusations or things that have come to light once he's back in the public spotlight because people are like, no, I'm not going to let this happen? That's all problems for the insurance of the movie to potentially have a big cost, because if they pull him or the bad press dunks the movie, then they're on the hook to try and pay for a lot of stuff. So that's the reality of how Hollywood works. So can he get through this? We'll see. Will this movie even see the light of day? He might have been better off just sort of producing it and letting someone else direct it. But then even that, it doesn't seem like Time's Up is going to let him do anything. So what do you think? I could get more specific in the accusations, but it'll get me in trouble. So you can look up Brett Ratner accusations yourself, and you can go get a little bit more information if you want to see, all right, well, what happened? What do we have here to make up my mind? My mind, he seems like a jerk. He seems like a a creepier Hugh Hefner. But is that illegal? No. Should he stop making movies because of it? I don't think so. Not yet. Not from what I've seen. I've heard things about Olivia Munn. I've heard things about Brett Ratner. We can't just cancel people based on what we heard things. Now, she's come forward, made accusations. He's denied them. What do you do now? Tell me what you think down below. I wanted to make sure you guys had sort of all the insight on this story, because it may continue. He may lose the job. He may be able to continue to push through the job. But judging by the comments on this headline piece, a lot of people are torn. A lot of people saying he should never work again. When contacted to confirm the rumors were true, Brett replied, "Girl, you know it's true." +1 for Ratner being back. Good to see. Looks like are we going to cancel everyone who has an accusation, not proof, thrown at them? If there's proof, put it on the table. Otherwise, just shut the blah, blah, blah. Let's see if it actually makes it out the gate. Nobody will see it because his name is attached. Karma never dies. What the ever-loving Christ. Girl, you know it's true. Are serious allegations against you. This movie's never going to happen. Ratner is toxic. I've heard that. I've heard very similar things to what Joss Whedon's accused of Brett Ratner. Everybody knows it. Even a fake band deserves a real filmmaker. Ouch. Will the actors actually sing the songs? Perfect, since he's the Milli Vanilli of directing. No real talent. Good for him. He was never sued, never arrested. No crime equals no blacklist. Brett can deny it, but anyone who worked in Tower Heist saw it on full display. He should change his company to RatPac's Entertainment, and Millennium should cut ties with his trust fund trash boy. Just ask Jessica Shore. I don't know. I think she made some accusations herself. Anyway, as you can tell here, how is he already back already, scum? Can't wait, said no one ever. Beyond even just the accusation stuff, hard pass on this guy making a comeback. I think the problem Brett Ratner also faces is a lot of people just don't like his movies. Let's be honest. He has not made the best movies. Rush Hour, I think, is really where he succeeded. But Brett Ratner became a filmmaker that sort of jumped into franchises, sort of help and do X-Men, Hannibal, right? He did one of the Hannibal movies. But his Hercules, his films are not classic. I would not say he's someone who is a classic director, even though would want to be known. That was Red Dragon. That's what I was trying to think of. But he's produced a lot of good stuff. The Revenant. I mean, there's so much here. He's produced. You probably even don't remember because his RatPac Entertainment was over there on Warner Brothers. But as a director, looking one more time quickly, he didn't even direct that much. A lot of videos, Rush Hour sequel. A lot of TV movies and stuff. Hercules as the movie, Tower Heist. He's got an uphill battle. Let's just say X-Men Last Stand, Red Dragon, After the Sunset, Family Man. It is an Money Talks. It is an odd bunch of movies where nothing except for the Rush Hour franchise has ever stuck through. So what do you guys think? Tell me down below. If you haven't already subscribed, you like content like this, please do hit that subscribe button and check out these videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more here on Popcorned Planet. Leave a comment down below to leave your thoughts. Thanks, everybody.